The Whitfield mansion was the kind of place people slowed down to stare at: white stone walls, endless windows, manicured gardens trimmed to perfection. But on the inside, it often felt like a museum that forgot what warmth was supposed to feel like. 42-year-old tech billionaire Marcus Whitfield moved through that house like a ghost wearing an expensive suit. He signed contracts that changed markets, solved impossible problems, and made decisions worth millions in minutes. He was powerful everywhere, except in the one place that mattered: home. 2 years earlier, a car accident shattered the world he thought he could control. His young son Oliver, only 8 years old, lost the ability to walk. Doctors used careful words and soft voices. Wheelchairs replaced bicycles. Hallways once filled with running footsteps now echoed with silence. And Marcus, without meaning to, began to disappear into work. Not because he didn't love his son, but because he didn't know how to love him through the pain. He started believing the lie that money and treatment would someday fix everything. So he buried himself in building more, funding more, scheduling more. And slowly Oliver's laughter faded. One bright afternoon, Marcus came home earlier than usual. His wife was out. Staff gone. The house was still until he walked down the hallway toward his son's room. Then he heard it: laughter, not forced, not polite, not the careful laughter Oliver sometimes gave to make adults feel better. This was real, wild, alive. Marcus stopped walking. There was another voice too, small, bright, playful, a girl's voice. He gently pushed the bedroom door open. And the world he knew paused. Oliver sat in his wheelchair facing the sunlight pouring through the patio doors, and for the first time in years, his eyes sparkled. His hands were lifted into the air like a victorious knight. In front of him stood a thin young girl, around 10 years old. Her shoes were worn down, her clothes were faded. But her posture, strong, confident, made her look like a tiny warrior herself. And in her hand, she held a banana, not to eat, but like a sword. She lunged forward dramatically. And the warrior strikes! She shouted joyfully. Oliver laughed so hard he could barely speak. "You got him! You beat the dragon!" "We won!" Marcus's heart twisted, because this was joy that money couldn't buy, and he hadn't seen it in so long. He recognized the girl. She sometimes slept near the abandoned grocery store 3 blocks away. Backpack always on, head always lowered. A homeless child the city passed without seeing, but his son knew her name. "Amara," Oliver said breathlessly. "Do the spinning move again." Amara smiled and stepped back outside onto the stone patio. She spun gracefully, banana sword cutting through the air before she landed in a crouched fighting stance. "My uncle taught me," she said softly, "before life got complicated. He always said everyone can be a warrior, even if the world thinks they can't." Oliver's voice went quiet. "Even me?" Amara knelt so they were eye to eye. "Especially you," she whispered. "You get up every day and keep going. That's what real warriors do." Marcus had to step back into the hallway. His chest ached, the way it aches when emotion finally breaks through the walls you've built. Because this homeless little girl had given his son something he hadn't, a reason to feel strong again. He wiped his eyes, took a deep breath, and walked to the kitchen. For once he didn't call a meeting, didn't open a laptop, didn't search for a solution. He made sandwiches. Then he returned to the room and gently knocked. "Permission to enter, brave warriors? I bring supplies." The laughter stopped. Oliver's face lit up. But Amara stiffened, banana sword lowering like she'd done something wrong. "I'm sorry, sir," she said nervously. "I didn't mean." "I can leave." Marcus shook his head immediately. "Please, stay." Her shoulders loosened, just slightly. He sat beside them. Tie loosened, for once not trying to be anyone except Oliver's dad. "How long have you been visiting?" "Most days after school," she replied softly. "We just talk, play. I leave before dark." "And where do you go after?" She looked down. "Wherever doesn't get rained on." Silence filled the room, the heavy kind that forces a man to face himself. Oliver spoke quickly, afraid the truth might ruin everything. "Dad, she makes me forget I'm in this chair." Marcus swallowed hard. For the first time in years, he wasn't thinking like a billionaire. He was thinking like a father. They ate together outside beneath the fading evening sunlight. No therapy schedule, no appointments, no pressure to improve, just presence, just love. And for the first time, Marcus didn't see a disability. He saw his son. The next day, and every day after, Marcus cleared his afternoons. He helped Amara find a safe place to live. He didn't rescue her with money. He rescued her with dignity. And slowly, quietly, he rescued himself. Because sometimes the greatest wealth is not what fills a bank account, but what fills a home with laughter again.